The possibility of Oscar Piastri moving from McLaren to Red Bull has become a hot topic in Formula One, fueled by comments from Red Bull's Helmut Marko and Piastri's manager, Mark Webber. Helmut, Red Bull's motorsport advisor, has publicly acknowledged that Webber is intensively seeking conversation with the team regarding Piastri. Piastri is no stranger to contract saga. The Australian famously rejected Alpine's offer, opting for a McLaren drive instead. It caused quite a stir, even ending up in front of F1's contract recognition board. This latest move by McLaren has been somewhat triggered by McLaren itself. We had earlier predicted that McLaren's prioritization of Lando Norris's championship bid could create friction within the team, potentially prompting Piastri to seek a team where he can be the undisputed number one driver. In Texas, for instance, Piastri could have snatched fourth place from Lando Norris following the 5-second penalty, but opted to slow down most likely as a team order. While Piastri will not be the number one, as long as Verstappen is there, this does not mean the deal can't be done. Max has been heavily courted by Toto Wolff. Sources mention that Max Verstappen has a performance-related exit clause in his Red Bull contract, which runs until 2028. This clause, combined with persistent rumours linking Verstappen to other teams like Mercedes and Aston Martin, introduces an element of uncertainty regarding his long-term future at Red Bull. Ralf Schumacher has voiced his support for Piastri as a potential replacement for Verstappen at Red Bull, citing Piastri's talent, racing mentality, and the uncertainty surrounding Verstappen's future. But what are the implications of a Verstappen-Piastri pairing? Piastri's arrival would likely spell the end of Sergio Perez's tenure at Red Bull. While Perez has shown flashes of brilliance, his inconsistency has led to speculation about his future with the team. Pairing Piastri with Verstappen, two of the most highly rated drivers in F1, could create a captivating rivalry reminiscent of past Red Bull pairings like Vettel-Webber and Verstappen-Ricciardo. However, this potential dynamic could also pose challenges for Red Bull in terms of managing their drivers' ambitions and maintaining team harmony. In the instance that Piastri leaves, McLaren wouldn't be sweating it so much. Their driver, Bortoleto, won the F3 last year and currently leads the F2 Championship. He will be a prime target. Another candidate for the seat will be their current reserve driver, Pato O'Ward. The Mexican, who has 26 podiums in IndyCar from 89 races, started life as a Red Bull junior in 2019 before moving to McLaren. Piastri's potential move to Red Bull is something we foresaw long ago. We knew Red Bull is up to something with the constant praise that Helmut showers on Piastri. Marko, known for his direct and often provocative statements, stated that Piastri is mentally the stronger one when comparing the two McLaren drivers. He observed that Piastri had gradually closed the gap to Lando and is even faster at times. Marko has been throwing a subtle dig at Norris's perceived vulnerability under pressure. It is worth noting that Marko's pronouncements should be taken with a grain of salt. He is a staunch supporter of Red Bull and has a history of making controversial statements, often aimed at unsettling rivals. Marko's assessment of Piastri's mental strength could be viewed as part of a wider strategy to unsettle McLaren and potentially lure the young Australian driver to Red Bull. While a move for Piastri to Red Bull currently seems unlikely given his existing contract with McLaren until the end of 2026, several factors could make such a transfer possible in the near future. Firstly, Red Bull's potential need for a Verstappen replacement is real. The Dutchman has a performance-related exit clause in his Red Bull contract, which runs until 2028. This, combined with rumours linking Verstappen to other teams, creates uncertainty about his long-term commitment to Red Bull. Should Verstappen choose to leave, Red Bull would need to find a suitable replacement, and Piastri's talent and potential make him a strong candidate. Secondly, Marko's acknowledgement of Piastri's mental strength and driving skills suggests he sees the driver capable of competing at the top level of F1. Thirdly, Piastri's manager, Mark Webber, a former Red Bull driver, still maintains a strong relationship with the team. While he believes McLaren has come a long way, he understands that Red Bull is still miles ahead of them. This can be demonstrated by Red Bull's sudden surge in Texas, even though they have been taking a beating from McLaren for too long. Webber, likely with Piastri's consent, is seriously exploring the possibility of a move to Red Bull. The fourth issue we see is the potential tensions at McLaren. Their focus on supporting Lando Norris's championship aspirations could create a less than ideal environment for Piastri. while Zak Brown, McLaren's CEO, has stated that they want to allow both drivers to race freely. He has also acknowledged the potential need for team orders later in the season. If Piastri is relegated to a supporting role at McLaren, it could motivate him to seek a team where he can be the primary focus. But this deal is not without its issues. Several factors could hinder a potential Piastri move to Red Bull. The number one issue we see is in relation to Piastri's current contract. This will present a significant obstacle. Breaking this contract would likely involve complex negotiations and potentially significant financial implications. The second issue is what we describe as the Verstappen factor. As long as Max remains at Red Bull, Piastri would likely play a secondary role to the Dutch driver. While Piastri has shown a willingness to support his teammate at McLaren, Verstappen himself has stated that he would not accept a number 2 driver status. The last obstacle we see is with regard to Red Bull's internal options. They have a strong driver academy, with several promising young drivers waiting for their opportunity in F1. Promoting from within could be a more cost-effective and less disruptive option for Red Bull than signing Piastri. But what do you think about this move? Is this a ploy by Piastri to force McLaren make him number 1? Let us know in the comments. This is Front Lockout, signing off.